Racism and Karma, the spiritual truth about discrimination. Welcome to the Sacred Karma podcast. I'm Vicky, and today's episode is Racism and Karma, the spiritual truth about discrimination. Many spiritual teachers avoid this conversation because it makes them uncomfortable. But discomfort is exactly where truth lives, and we're going there today. If you've ever wondered why discrimination exists, why innocent people suffer because of their skin color or ethnicity, or how karma really operates within systems of oppression, this episode will challenge everything you think you know about spiritual justice. Let me say this clearly from the start. Racism is not individual karma. When someone experiences discrimination, that's not their personal karma, paying off some debt from a past life. What they're experiencing is collective karma, and it operates very differently than most people in spiritual circles understand. I've lived this reality. As an Asian person in Australia, I've experienced racism firsthand. I've seen people who claim to be spiritual still harbor prejudice. I've watched communities ignore systemic injustice while preaching about vibrations and manifestation. That's not spirituality. That's bypassing at its worst. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When people say, everything happens for a reason, in response to racism, they're participating in the oppression. When they tell victims of discrimination to just raise their vibration, they're avoiding their own responsibility and perpetuating harmful systems. Karma doesn't work the way most Western spirituality teaches it. Yes, karma is action and consequence, but it operates on multiple levels: individual, familial, collective, and systemic. Think about collective karma. Slavery created karmic debt, colonization created karmic debt, genocide created karmic debt. Those debts don't disappear because generations have passed. They show up as systemic racism, as generational trauma, as institutional barriers that keep certain groups oppressed. So when someone experiences racism, they're not experiencing their personal karma. They're bearing the weight of ancestral wounds and historical injustices they didn't create. The person experiencing racism isn't being taught a lesson by the universe. They're not attracting discrimination through their vibration. They're living in a world where collective karmic consequences manifest as systemic oppression. Now here's the deeper layer. Those who perpetrate racism, whether through overt acts or silent complicity, are creating karma right now. Every discriminatory action, every racist thought left unchallenged, every time someone stays silent in the face of injustice, that creates karmic debt. When you participate in racist systems, even passively, even unconsciously, you are contributing to collective karmic debt. Your children and grandchildren will inherit that debt, just as they inherit the benefits of privilege. This is why good vibes only spirituality is dangerous. It allows people to ignore injustice while claiming spiritual superiority. Spirituality becomes an escape from responsibility rather than a call to conscious action. True awakening demands that you see where you cause harm, even unintentionally. You have to face the ways you benefit from systems that oppress others. Use whatever privilege you have to dismantle those systems, rather than simply sending thoughts and prayers. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us about dharma, righteous action. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna to meditate away from injustice. He taught him to act with wisdom and courage when faced with wrong action. So what does this mean in your daily life? If your spirituality lets you remain comfortable, while others suffer discrimination, you're not evolving, you're escaping. What does conscious action look like? First, educate yourself about systemic oppression. Understand how racism operates not just in individual acts of hatred, but in policies, institutions, and cultural norms. Second, examine your own conditioning. We all carry unconscious biases. Maturity means being willing to see these shadow aspects rather than denying they exist because you consider yourself evolved. Third, use your voice and your privilege. Witness racism, speak up. Benefit from systems that harm others, work to change them. Fourth, support those experiencing oppression in tangible ways. Listen to marginalized communities, amplify their voices, support their businesses, vote for policies that address systemic inequality. This work is uncomfortable. It will challenge your self image. You'll have to admit complicity in harm. That discomfort is a sign you're finally doing the real work. Every generation has the choice to perpetuate collective karmic patterns or to heal them. You can pass on the same unconscious biases, or you can be the one who breaks the cycle. Your personal evolution is directly connected to how you respond to collective suffering. You cannot separate your enlightenment from the liberation of all beings. Let me be clear. Accepting circumstances with gratitude applies to personal challenges, not to systemic injustice. We don't accept racism as divine will. We recognize it as collective karmic debt that demands collective healing, and we become part of that healing. The universe isn't testing victims of racism. The universe is testing those with the power to change racist systems. Are you using that power? Are you speaking up? Are you examining your own participation in oppression? These are the true questions that need to be answered. Here's the truth that liberates. You have a choice in every moment to either perpetuate harm or create healing. You can remain unconscious to your privilege, or you can become conscious and use it for justice. Sacred karma in action means recognizing that we're all interconnected, that harm to one is harm to all, that liberation cannot be individual while others remain oppressed. Your thoughts and experiences matter to this community. Drop a comment below and let us know how today's wisdom is resonating with you. Hit follow to join our growing family of truth seekers, and remember, every step on the journey matters. This is Vicky, with love, grace, and peace, your friend and guide, signing off. Until we meet again on a new episode on the Sacred Karma.